Hello everybody, this is thejonnymar, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy VI Advance. So my last episode we saved the Kingdom of Figaro by defeating a boss that was keeping the castle trapped underground. And so now we are able to finally continue looking for our party members that have gone missing since the end of the world. And we're going to do that by heading underneath the desert here and heading over towards Kohlingen. Now, some of you might remember who we found originally in Kohlingen, or whose backstory was explained a little bit more. And that's not actually the character we're going to get this time. In fact, it might be a character that's a little bit surprising to most people. Unless, of course, you've played the game, in which case you know exactly which character it is. But in good time, viewers, we will find out in a few minutes. But in the meantime, let's check out the shops. Now, if you were unlucky enough to have not gotten Edgar's Debilitator earlier in the game, like I did as a random drop, you can now purchase it at Figaro Castle. So make sure to put him first in your party, so you get the discount, and then buy it. And basically all it does is you can cause an enemy to have a randomly determined weakness. So for example, you can assign them a fire weakness. So then any fire spells you cast against them, they will be doubly effective. But it is randomly assigned, so that reduces the usefulness of it. You might get something like Holy Elemental or Pearl or Water Elemental, and you might not have any of the spells to actually make use of that weakness. Now we have some new enemies to take on, these bogies apparently. And for the most part, my party is pretty strong, so there shouldn't be too much difficulty finishing them off. And there wasn't. But again, they don't really give us much. So we're going to head over towards Kohlingen. The town looks like it's okay. Certainly has not been ravaged too badly. And here we get another reminiscing scene of how beautiful the world used to be back when the Empire was threatening to take over every town through bloody occupation. Good times, folks, good times. Remember, Locke's backstory was revealed in this town, and we found out a little bit about the former love of his life, Rachel. And here we get a hint about where he might be. Looking for a fabled treasure hidden somewhere. So we are definitely going to be doing that in the very near future, because we want Locke back in our party for a couple of really good reasons, and I will get to those once we get to that part. Geez, sorry lady. So not only is the world dying, but new plants are not able to grow apparently. That's probably not a good sign. Your brother? Just the thing for this world. I wonder what that is. This guy's pretty handy. It lets you unequip any of your party members that you haven't gotten and might have had equipped before the end of the world. And this lady gives you a little hint about someone that you can face in the Colosseum, which we'll be going over in more depth in a little bit. Hey, it's Setzer. And so did you. Why not? What happened, Setzer? Yeah, and you don't have your airship anymore. And I think that was the only one in the world, wasn't it? Well, Celeste will give him a little bit of a pep talk. Maybe that'll help. Sounds pretty hopeless. If only it was this easy to snap people out of depression. I don't think Setzer was really that depressed. I think he was just waiting for a new purpose in life. Darill's tomb. He mentioned Darill earlier in the game in that little cutscene we found after we crash landed on the South Continent. A new pair of wings. Sweet, maybe there's another airship. Here it gives you a little view, kind of the precursor to the current games where it zooms in on your next objective. And that is indeed Daryl's tomb, our next destination. Now, in the original version, it was kind of weird because they kept spelling Darill differently throughout the adventure. So occasionally it was spelled with one I, two L's with a Y, and others. And what I did there is quickly equip Setzer. Now I'm going to buy the Viper Darts. These are the best weapon for Setzer at this point in the game. And basically what they do is some damage, and they also randomly will dispatch or kill off enemies. We do need some new shields. And yeah, let's get some helms and also possibly some armor. Yeah, might as well. I burned through my cash pretty quick. And then Setzer's dice that I also picked up are very interesting. They ignore defense, but they do a random amount of damage. And it's usually pretty low. But they can be a godsend against certain enemies that have really high defense. Think about those vampire blooms we fought out in the world map that only have about 20 HP, but most things only do a couple damage to. That's a pretty interesting looking bird. Pretty impressive sprite. Let's see if it can survive a nope. Orbolt for the win. Anyway, we got teleport. That's a moderately useful spell. It allows you to exit dungeons, which in this game, unlike previous Final Fantasies, they automatically take you out of most dungeons so you don't have to backtrack. So that reduces the usefulness of teleport. But it's still nice. His friend, in quotes. Well, actually it wasn't in quotes, but I put it in quotes. Now the first time I played this, I thought, oh, this should be nice. We'll just go down and get the airship, not realizing that this was actually a enemy invaded tomb. So I went in and got immediately ransacked by enemies and died. I have since learned my lesson. Awesome, the Genji helm. So we're gonna stick that on Sabin, I think. And then we'll move the royal crown back over to Edgar. There's a lot to get in here, and most of the enemies actually use a status ailment that inflicts zombie on your party. So you do want to equip all of your party members with amulets, which prevent against zombie. Or the ribbon, that works too. Now I only had 2 amulets and my ribbon, so Setzer actually does not have protection against zombie. Here's the dice. See, not too much damage, but that can go up, pending random chance. So there's a 1 in 4 chance that he will get zombied each round when we face the certain enemies that do it. I like those odds. We'll see if it actually comes to fruition that it actually happens. And of course, those of you that have played other Final Fantasies, you've seen those Marlboro characters. They use bad breath on you, which does a litany of status effects. Usually really bad news. So that button raised up the water, allowing us to access another part of the tomb. We're gonna head south here. And we get to ride some turtles. Good little things. Helping us out. And this is the last of our new enemies. Those flowers are what actually do the zombie attack. There's Legomorph. Does status healing possibly? And oh, you're kidding me. Well, Setzer is now a zombie. Take that, Johnny. Your 1 in 4 chance. So he randomly attacks and he can't take damage. And the only thing that can actually kill him is a Phoenix Down or some instant life spell. But also you lose control of him, so use a holy water to bring him back. And then we'll heal him up quick. And hopefully that won't happen again. Unbelievable. Second, maybe third fight. Crazy. So this is optional. You find letters carved into these tablets, and you can enter them into another tablet in the other part of this dungeon, and it'll give you a clue about a secret item. But in order to enter them, you do have to come into this room and look at all of these tablets. So you can decide if you want to do that or not. We're going to come back to that switch we just bypassed, because we have to do something else first. Some pretty cool music in here. Yes, I will carve something in. We'll start with wet, and then Darill. Some foreign language, maybe. Actually, if you read it backwards, it says, "The world is square." And it reveals the secret location of a new item, which is semi-helpful, but not super helpful. And that is the experience egg, or growth egg, I think it's called in this game. Yeah, we'll throw this on Setzer. So we need to progress through a secret passage over here. And there's our chest that we're looking for. And there's our experience egg. So when you equip that as a relic, obviously, as you might expect, it doubles the experience you get from battle. So, somewhat useful. And this switch opens that door up there. See, if we hit that other switch before, that raised the water level, and then we wouldn't have been able to open that door. So we would have just had to backtrack anyway. Alright, that's enough with these random encounters. I think I actually have the ward bangle on too, which is supposed to reduce the number of encounters, and it doesn't seem to be doing much. But maybe we'll get through the rest here without having another fight. Now we get to ride 2 turtles in a row. Poor little things, having a group of 4 human beings riding on its little back. I'm surprised we just don't fall down into the ground. You'd think they would have made one character go at a time, although that would have been kind of tedious. Alright, so here's our last little area before the boss. We do have a monster in a box up here in the chest, so let's save quickly. And this boss, mini-boss, might look familiar. Let's check it out. Yes, it is a palette swap of our old friend the Welk, or Yimmer. Now, what's fun about this guy is you can actually use X-Zone or Banish, and if you're able to capture both parts, you'll get double of the item drop. Whoops. And like the Welk earlier in the game, you can't attack the back shell otherwise, because it does that auto attack. I don't know how that head is kind of floating there in mid-space, but whatever. So now just use your regular attacks to take it out, and because that happened, because we got the shell, when it does its attempt to go into its shell, it should actually kill it off, I would guess. I've never had this happen before. Yep. And Dragon Claws. So if you can capture both of those with X-Zone, you'll get 2 Dragon Claws, actually. That's a pretty awesome weapon for saving. Increases your strength and also your battle power. And I think they're holy elemental. Alright, and now we have a boss battle. So we'll open this last chest and head north. This boss isn't too bad. And especially with a couple of equipment changes, it can make the boss even easier. Although it's still kind of a drawn out and tedious battle. So let's check our espers here. Want to make sure we have Zona Seeker on. Also Golem, of course, for our shell and protection from physical attacks. And he doesn't do zombie, so we can take off all of these relics that protect against status ailments. And we're trying to increase our speed and damage output. Now keep in mind in this battle he uses a lot of magic. So we're going to have Celeste use her runic ability. This is one of the few battles where runic comes in handy. What was that? It's a boss! Dullahan coming for you. Now he uses level ? holy. And I never knew the specifics about that spell. Basically, it's something to do with the last number of either your steps or your gold pieces. I think it might be your magic. Not magic. Your amount of money. So depending on the last digit and the amount of money that you have determines a variable in terms of your level number. And so if your level number is a certain variable associated with your gold, then you'll get hit by that spell, and it does a decent amount of damage. But obviously it didn't work for us, so none of them got hit. So we're just gonna plug away. Edgar will use his drill. Sabin I'll use Aurabolt, and then Celeste will draw fire. And of course I'm gonna fail miserably with Edgar's slot over and over again because it is just not a very helpful ability. And I don't like using the cheat to make it work. There is a glitch in the original game where you can anticipate during his slots by pausing and unpausing quickly. And I find that's just stupid. It looks funny and I never really got it to work, so I just don't do it much. So we're pretty much invincible here. He can't really touch us. We have Golem up to protect against physical attacks, and any magic gets blocked by Celeste's runic. So we just need to keep whittling him down. I think he has around 15 to 20,000 HP. Pretty cool looking boss though, with those flaming horses and the chariot. Kind of reminiscent of an enemy in the Ghost Graveyard from Final Fantasy VII. The guy kind of riding in his own little cart that you could steal, I think, a staff for Eris from. You actually gonna damage us at all, Dullum? Nope. Well, if you're not gonna hurt us, then just die. And he is weak to, there we go, Vanish Doom in the original, so make sure, if you want to use that glitch to save yourself some time. So that's about it for this episode. In my next one, we're gonna find out a little bit more about Setzer's past. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.